Okay everyone, it's your host TJ Lavin here, and on today's daily challenge, it's quite simple. All you need to do is jump out of this plane without a parachute while memorizing 100 words I have randomly selected in my mind. Make it happen, everyone.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take the money and run, TJ.
I'll win every fight.
Rookie Revolution.
This is a game!
Hey guys, what's up? It's the Rookie Revolution, and today we are going to go over the most difficult and challenging daily challenges of all time. No drones, no simple tanagrams. We are going to be actually looking at the ones that you would never want to try and you feel bad for the challengers competing in it. I don't really have much criteria for this list, except it will have a nice variety, as in it won't be all mini finals. So with all of that, let's get started. I want to give a quick honorable mention to Cold War from Total Madness, because this challenge just looked miserable. The way it worked was you are in a cold pool. Let me rephrase that. You are in a freezing pool. Let me rephrase that. You are in a pool that is bone-chilling cold while members of the opposing team are sliding down huge bricks of ice at the same time. While you are enduring that coldness, you have to get 5 puzzle pieces and then proceed to solve it. This challenge was just plain unsafe. The temperature averaged around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just not something you want to be in. Nelson literally had to go to the hospital because of a hypothermia scare. It was just intense. Some people like Jordan and Corey didn't even think that the challenge was worth doing. I also want to compare this to the X's one final where they also had to go in cold water. They said if you were there longer than 30 seconds, you would get hypothermia.
You guys definitely want to come back fast. 30 seconds in the water causes hypothermia.
Albeit that was -1. But staying in somewhat comparable water for 15 plus minutes just sounds like torture. If this challenge were safe, I wouldn't say it's difficult, but because of these elements, it just makes it increasingly harder.
Wes is peeing himself, so he's warming up the water in his vicinity. I'm absolutely willing to swim in some urine just to warm up my fingers right now.
At number 10, we have Rope Burn from the Inferno 3. And the way this daily worked was in the middle of the water, there is a dock with fire building materials that you have to swim to and bring back without getting them wet. Yes, you have to find a way to not get your materials wet in the middle of a river. And also above you are some challengers trying to sabotage you by throwing water to hopefully get you more wet. Once you get back, you have to light a fire to burn a rope and drop the opposing team into the water. Okay, let's be real. Most people on this show aren't survival experts. Most of them don't even know what a fire looks like. Though to be fair, I'm not any better. The only survival techniques I know are from watching Bear Grylls, but from what I can gather, you can't build a fire when your materials are wet. Danny and Bananas took leadership on their respective teams, and I'll let you guess whose leadership was better. They both used steel wool with a battery, and surprise surprise, Danny found a way to mess it up, while the good guys team killed it and won the daily.
Danny tries to assume a leadership role very frequently in these challenges. A lot of the time, his ideas just don't work.
I think the whole element of having to build a fire while you have to traverse a river is super stressful and something I would not want to do, especially since it's very difficult to start a fire if you have no knowledge.
I'm just making that because God only knows how to do this.
For number 9, we have Day of Reckoning from War of the Worlds 1. And the way it works is you and your partner run down a quarry to a pile of very heavy trash. And you have a wheelbarrow that you need to fill up with the heaviest stuff possible to then bring it back to your dumpster. At the end of 1 hour, whoever has the dumpster filled with the heaviest trash wins. This challenge was all kinds of difficult. I mean, going up and down a quarry carrying car doors, stoves, and other various heavy items is not only exhausting for the challengers, it makes you exhausted watching it. I mean, this challenge did break some people as well. When Hunter didn't win, he wanted to quit the whole game.
If we can get this mother right here on that wheelbarrow, we'll win.
Hunter wants to pick up this refrigerator that is at least 200 pounds. We can't even put it in the wheelbarrow. What makes you think we're gonna bring it up the hill?
The wheelbarrow broke? Yeah.
All right, we can't do it. I've never felt more confident about our tribunal win.
Today, this is a win. Promise.
Even when something's in my wheelhouse to win, I can't get the job done with the strongest girl in the house, so I'm ready to go home.
When Turbo was doing a perfect strategy of taking fewer trips but taking the heaviest stuff, and his partner Ninja just couldn't see it.
We're carrying a lot of weight, but we're the slowest team in this challenge.
She's thinking they are running, they're gonna win, but she have to stop. She have to trust me.
That whole moment is just something that really sticks out to me as a whole that season. Ninja just being awful to Turbo turbo. It was quite interesting to see the different strategies and getting some unsuspecting winners. Like, who would have thought Devon would have won when she has asthma?
I'm going to respect her and be there for her around every corner.
I also have asthma.
It really brought out a lot of surprising performances. Kyle broke his toe and tore his knee, which was awful. All in all, this was a great challenge. For number 8, we've got another high endurance challenge in Rampage on Rivals 2. And the way it worked was you had 4 ramps and you had to run back and forth to collect 20 balls, and you had a 3-minute time limit. Pretty much T-Bone from Rivals 1 and Free Agents on steroids. Look at these ramps. Now imagine pulling yourself up after doing laps and getting into physical contact with someone again and again. This is not easy. I remember watching this for the first time with my uncle who was in the military, and he told me that he couldn't believe they were doing something this difficult. Bananas barely could do this challenge, and even if he was in the worst shape he's ever been in, you still wouldn't expect Johnny to gas out tremendously and start puking.
Frank and Johnny are doing great, and then you just can see Johnny start to slow, and you know, Papa's getting old.
I can't breathe.
TJ blows the horn. Their 3 minutes are up. Johnny is falling on the ramp like some beached whale. I always known that he was a little girl, but this is pathetic.
Jordan didn't even do very well either. Wes and CT killed it, although CT did get choo-chooed by Preston once.
Preston decides to lock, load, explode on me, give me a little choo-choo of my own, and sends me into the water. Bastard. How am I going to justify this to my friends?
The girls' rounds were less entertaining. I mean, Anissa and Jemmy couldn't even get up the ramp, which I guess is entertaining, but all in all, great challenge. For number 7, we have the final mission of the Challenge Season 3 Challenge 2000. This is more like a daily than a final, so I'm counting this. Now, this is for sure the scariest challenge on this list. The way it worked was you had to jump out of a plane. Now, usually you do a tandem jump on the challenge, but nope, this is solo, which was utterly insane, and something I doubt they would ever do nowadays. Now, the catch is you have to land on a board with different point values. I don't know how in the world, when these people have never skydived before, how they would steer to a point board. Like, they aren't Power Rangers, but they all did pretty well. I mean, kudos to Veronica and Dan especially, who got a perfect score. But by far the scariest thing that happened in this challenge is when Amaya had a crash landing because a big gust of wind all of a sudden came. That was terrifying to watch.
I just have a concussion and a sprained ankle.
Next up, we've got Block Party from the Ruins, and the way this daily worked was a little complicated. 2 people from each team hold onto a pole while the remaining members of your team do everything in their power to yank you off and carry you out, which, as you can guess, was a mess. TJ had to remind them not to choke each other more times than you would want to hear it.
Can't get him a headlock, Kenny.
Is that a headlock?
I know, Kenny. He can't get on his neck. Let go of his neck. Gotta let go of his neck.
Hey, don't get it. That's not fair.
After you yank them off a pole, you then build a cinder block staircase to ring your bell. Again, I think this one is just exhausting. And it also has a lot of elements that can make it kind of confusing. I honestly think, though, that yanking and carrying someone again and again is one of the most exhausting things you can do. It was extremely fun to watch, though. Next up, we have the pit from the Gauntlet 2, and the way this works is very simple. You and your teammates are in this huge pit, and all you have to do is get out. Once you get out of the pit, you cannot get back in. So of the 9 people on each team competing, the first 8 people to get out are fairly simple. But once you are the last person in the pit, what can you really do? It's huge. Like, you can't climb it. The materials they give you, like pool noodles, aren't durable enough, so you really need to come up with a unique strategy in order to get out. And as Prime Alton was there, you really got to give it to him. He had an idea that worked. He dangled himself back down, risking it all for Landon to use his body to climb.
What about hanging? You guys pull me back up with Landon.
Landon, can you climb up me?
I can climb up you.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back in the pit. I'm gonna have to dangle myself down there and my butt on the line. Who else is gonna do it?
That was insane. I don't think anyone else would have been able to do that. For Timmy, you got to give it to him as well. He tried, and his idea was, it was something.
Can you make a rope out of masking tape? Can you take the pantyhose and make a rope? Yeah! Then I'm going to stand on a yoga ball, tape the yoga ball to my feet, and we'll carry it up on the way up as you pull me up. Done.
This challenge just takes a different species of human to complete, and with Elton and Landon on the same team, it was over. Next up, we have Waterbound from the island. And even though these are more classified as elimination rounds, this one more than anything on this season was a daily, so I'm counting it that way. And the way this one works is your legs are tied together and you have to hold a weight behind your back with both hands. You then jump into the water while you still hold on to the weight, and you have to constantly let the weight pull you down so you can jump back up and take a breath. Okay, this can go wrong in so many ways, and this is super dangerous. Like, I mean, imagine Phyllis from The Office doing this. She can't jump.
I am jumping.
You are?
Yes,
Let me
I'm
see you
jumping.
jump. Oh my God.
It was a risk doing this type of challenge, but guess who put up one of the best and most impressive performances of all time? Evelyn Smith. Evelyn killed this challenge, and it didn't even look hard for her. It was honestly amazing to watch, and it made Johnny furious.
I'm screwed.
Next up, we have Skybridge from Final Reckoning, and if you're scared of heights, it's pretty much game over. The way this daily worked was you and your partner are on a bridge 1,000 feet in the air. You then have a long rope that you need to use to make a makeshift bridge by tying 5 knots. This is insanely difficult. Imagine how much you would be shaking just by being up there, let alone if you look down. Tying knots when you're shaking and on an unstable platform, it's almost impossible. Only one team was able to complete this challenge, and the rest got absolutely crucified by TJ. TJ might have been the most disappointed I've ever seen him.
The term epic is overused a bit, but this is epic.
Good job, MURREY!
No, actually, you're not killing it at all. They're not doing good. Guys, this is for $1 million. Just try.
TJ, this is hard, dude.
Not that hard. You're better than this. It's ridiculous. Just try.
Now I'm more nervous about TJ than the height.
Just get it done. I've never seen a worse performance.
But for some reason, I just found this heights challenge to be a lot worse than any of the others. At number 2, we have Boot Camp from season 2 of the challenge, and I'm going to be a little bit more brief on this one because I feel it can be a touchy subject for some, but it's pretty much what the title suggests. It's boot camp. They go to a military base and live the way the military do. They sleep the way they do, they eat the way they do. And they did 4 different military drills. I don't even really need to explain how this is hard, but more than anything, I feel that this can be a high stress situation and actually pretty traumatic for some who aren't used to this. Hearing gunfire is not rainbows and lollipops. It's very scary for most people, and the whole environment is just stressful. And that, along with the physical stress, is just not fun. If you remember my top 10 best overall daily challenges video, then this will be familiar. Don't Forget About Me from X's 2 is not only the best overall daily challenge ever, but it's also the most difficult. Oh my gosh, the way it works is the guys have to lift an answer key to a puzzle of random colors and random orders and shapes that the female partners have to memorize. Oh, and the lift is 300 pounds. Yep, 300 pounds to lift just to show the answer key. Then you have to climb up a mountain to get to the solving station. The puzzle's already super difficult to remember. Now imagine climbing up a mountain trying to remember as well. And you have to do it again and again.
I realize it's a lot heavier now than it was the first time I tried to pull it.
I really can't imagine. The entertainment value in this challenge was also as good as it gets. I really cannot think of one bad thing. I challenge anyone in the comments to say they would want to try this, because if you say yes, you're a liar. I really don't think it can get any more difficult than this for a daily challenge.
Green, white, blue, green, red. Say it.
Green, white, blue, green, red.
Okay, keep saying it.
Just go.
No.
Green, white, blue, green, red. I've got it. Go.
I really feel like a piece of meat today. They're not using me in anything other than my good looks and brute strength.
I think the second row's right, but I'm just playing around now.
Thank you all for watching. I know the uploads have been less frequent this summer, but I've gotten some amazing opportunities in my real life I need to take, but the uploads will never stop. And trust me when I say big stuff is coming. Like for one of my upcoming series, I'm taking online courses to make sure it's the best it can be, and I doubt anyone's going to be able to guess what it is. Anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all the social medias. Links are in the description, and until next time, as always, take care.